This is college football on ABC Sports.
To the second quarter we go now with the Buffaloes. 3rd down and 8. The ball is on the Michigan 47-yard line. Michigan leads in the ball game 7-0. John Hessler has a lot of time and throws a bullet complete to Chris Anderson in traffic. 1st down, Colorado at the 36.
Anderson is the man making the catches. That's 3. Take a look at the first quarter stats. 100 yards for Michigan, only 37 for the Buffaloes. Each team has had a turnover. Michigan doing a lot better on average yards per play.
This would be a very good year for Chris Anderson to step up. They've been expecting a lot out of him. He's a senior this year. 1st down for the Bucs. They run it with traffic. Nothing doing. There's penetration all along that front. James Hall and Sam Sword. Sam Sword is backed up by Rob Sweat. Marvelous names. Got to be big ugly rolling around in the mud and the blood. And here's the man that controls the Michigan defense this year.
Moved up to defensive coordinator. Greg Madison moved over to Notre Dame as their coordinator. And Lloyd Carr paid him a high compliment. He says in time that Jim Herman will be one of the best coordinators they've ever had in Michigan.
2nd down and 10.
He might already be one of the best.
Hessler getting a little heat. Pass is off. Takes an arm to do that, folks. Bill Savoy. Josh Williams, number 91, was in pursuit of him, a 271-pounder, with full intent to maim him, and Hessler running to the left, but got it away on the number.
But you said it, Keith. Michigan had some pressure. 91 inside is Williams, but the mobility of the quarterback and the arm strength, John just made this play right here.
Try this.
Throws it back inside.
Ordinary person has dislocated their shoulder.
And Savoy did a nice job of finding an open area.
Marlon Barnes is checked into the lineup now for Colorado. Hessler still got it. He takes the left. It's intercepted. Intercepted by the Michigan Wolverines. Number 41, Tommy Hendricks. Again, pressure's involved.
You're right, Keith. They got the blitz coming. Hessler got turned around. They're going to have a blitz on the outside. This one's going to blitz. Right here is Hendricks. He's going to move to his left side. Watch the two left guys standing up. They're blitzing. Now Hessler gets turned around. He doesn't see Hendricks coming back from the outside. He thought he had a man with nobody on him. He doesn't get a lot on the ball because there's pressure, and Hendricks makes a nice play.
And we got a sack full of penalty flags on that call. Jack Teets is the referee.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That'll put them back on the 10-yard line where it'll be 1st down and 15. You see that face? Competitor, boy. Brighton, Colorado.
Both teams are going against pretty darn good defenses, Keith.
On 1st and 15, Greasy hands the ball off to Chris Howard. And Howard will get it back to about the 15-yard line where it'll be 2nd down and 10. 13-10 to go in the 1st half. Michigan leading 7-0.
Rick just giving him a piece of his mind. You know, sometimes that's good, Keith. They're good friends. Hessler gives Neuheisel a lot of credit for his development, but sometimes to shake him loose, wake him up, or whatever, instead of grabbing him by the shoulders and shaking him and says, come on, start playing, he's doing it verbally.
And he has a rapier. Here's the penalty flag in the backfield of Michigan. So that play loses half a yard or so. So they may choose to decline this one.
Rick was telling me the other day that Hessler always plays well in big games. And he said, at least that's what I'm going to tell him, and that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. He's trying to convince him that you're going to play well. I mean, and I think that's good.
They got a holding call against the Wolverines, and they're discussing whether or not Colorado wants to accept it. Mike Phillips is the man talking to the referee.
On the offense, half the distance to the goal line. Repeat, second down.
So being up on the 15.
A little surprised they accepted that, Keith. They only got half the distance. It would have been third down. What this tells me is the Buffaloes have a lot of confidence in that defense. They want to create something down here, give their offense some good field position.
Winds up a 10-yard penalty. Second down and 20 coming up now for Michigan. 12:20 to play in the first half. And the Colorado defense now trying to pin them right there. This is Chris Floyd. Again, penalty flag. Floyd comes out to the 10-yard line. He picks up 5 yards on the carry. But again, I think you may have a Michigan penalty. Yep, against Michigan. Procedure. Here's Swanee. Lynn Swan.
Keith, you're talking about John Hessler and his conversation with Rick Neuheisel on the sideline. From what I'm noticing in this game, he seems to have a control problem throwing the football. Now, I know Rick wants to talk to him, but to me it seems it would be almost better, much better, if he was on the sideline, had a football in his hand, was throwing the football to a receiver on the sideline, trying to work through his problems, trying to work out his technique. If it's just a matter of adrenaline, he can throw the ball and calm down a little bit so he can be an effective leader, Keith.
All right, third down and 15 now. Little sidearm around the corner by Bryan is thrown out to Tooman up around the 17, 18-yard line, and he couldn't get it over the top because there was a big old man in his face, so he threw it just under his elbow.
Did a nice job of throwing it around him. Keith, I think Hessler's problem is not so much his technique or what he's doing, not doing. I think the problem is there's a bunch of Wolverines in his face.
I think you're
right. They're doing a nice job of getting pressure, and that's causing a lot of the other problems, throwing off balance and whatever.
Right here, the Colorado defense has done its job. They've pinned the Wolverines, and now they've got to punt the ball. Benson steps up and hits it at the 8-yard line, and it's a high beauty. Whoa, that's a dandy. Trotman all the way back to his 34-yard line. Penalty flag thrown. Colorado's going to get hit with a push in the back. That's a 48-yard punt, and that return of 13 yards, I think, is going to be nullified by a penalty. Push in the back, I'm pretty sure. Looked like Marcus Washington. Illegal use of hands against the Colorado Buffaloes, and that'll take them back up the field. So John Hessler comes back onto the field now after a spirited conversation with his coach. Colorado defense had done their job. They had pinned Michigan, but Benson came in and just kicked the air out of the ball, plus a penalty against Colorado, and the line of scrimmage point of the snap moved 56 yards downfield. So Colorado starts first down at their own 29-yard line. And Hessler looking and looking and looking. Now he's got somebody to go to, and the ball is off the hands of Phil Savoy.
Needs some help. You got to give him some help.
The Home Depot Chalk Talk. Colorado Buffaloes in 25 games under Rick Neuheisel. You can see the numbers. They are prolific, averaging 33 points a game, 450 yards. The record, obviously pretty good when you're producing those first two sets of numbers. 21-4.
I asked Carl Durrell, the offensive coordinator, if they were going to try to run the ball. He says, the head coach was a quarterback. I was a wide receiver. You think we're not going to throw the ball?
There's another penalty flag thrown to the linesman. The play is good out to about the 43 to Chris Anderson, who's having a big day, but this may come back. The officials very quiet in the first quarter, but they're dirty in the laundry in the second. It's against Colorado. Jim Bushowski is your umpire. The linesman is Steve Beckman. Line judge is Don Langlow. Field judge Bob Colburn. Side judge is Norm Nelson, and the back judge is John Langen.
There's a look at Carl. He was a wide receiver at UCLA when Rick was the quarterback. I asked Carl if Rick has changed, and he said, well, yeah, we're opposite personalities. I'm quiet, and he's kind of outgoing, a singer and a guitar player, but he said he's starting to listen to me a little bit more.
There are two freshmen in the secondary now for Michigan, Dwayne Patman out of San Diego and James Whitley out of Norfolk, Virginia. They're true freshmen, but they can play. Timeout call by Michigan. 11:24 to go in the first half. Wolverines leading in the ball game by a score of 7-0. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by the Ford F-150. Strength after strength after strength. By Marriott Hotels, Resorts, and Suites. We believe when you're comfortable, you can do anything. By Domino's Pizza, who brings you their newest crust sensation, Pesto Crust. And by The Hartford. Bring it on. The Budweiser blimp and its eye-in-the-sky camera providing you with these live shots 1,000 feet above Michigan Stadium, where resides for a little while this afternoon close to 105,000 folks. And they're cheering loudly as their defensive fellows are doing a fine job. Clint Copenhaver gets the call here on Marlon Barnes.
Keith, the defense is really playing well. Watch the two linebackers as at the right time, just before the ball is snapped, they're going to scoot up and blitz at a timely fashion. That tells me that they've got the snap count for the Buffaloes pretty much down. What the Buffaloes should do is change the snap count, go on quick counts and long counts. Michigan is disguising, and at the right minute, their linebackers are coming across the line of scrimmage.
It is 3rd down and 16 now, and here comes that blitz again as Woodson delivers the hit on Hessler, but Hessler delivers the ball to Anderson, and he makes the catch for a first down.
This is just a great throw and catch. Woodson was all over Hessler, and Anderson making a lot of big plays today. Woodson scooting in from his coverage position, blitzing with all the speed that he has. Hessler just barely gets rid of it. Oh, that's great. Great throw, good camera work. Copenhaver, the outside linebacker, didn't even see the ball coming. You can't do it any better than that.
Anderson, Bob, has 4 catches for 45 yards, and 3 of those have been right over the middle. That's where your ears ring a little bit when you go down the middle.
You got that. He's a big guy, Keith. He's 6'4", over 210, and he can handle that pressure in the contact.
Barnes, the deep man. Buffaloes with the first down. Hessler keeps it. He's fearless. He doesn't worry about that. ABC's College Football online right now with a live real-time play-by-play display from all of our games. All America Online. Keyword is ABC Sports.
Rick Neuheisel, that's the second option that he's run. He's figuring if Michigan is going to be blitzing up the middle, I'm going around the end with my option. Good thinking.
2nd down and 5. Ball just short of the 45. Hessler, short drop, gets his first down. Pass complete to Cheverini. Darren is out of Corona, California. Lanky youngster. Enjoyed visiting with him yesterday.
He was very interesting to talk to. He was bright-eyed and friendly. Yeah, just came up and started chatting. I think they bent the post over there.
I think it's bent. Yeah. I'm out for the equipment.
When a player gets close to those poles over there, those poles should be dropped and not held by those sideline attendants.
Well, I remember one time Dennis Dummett, who was a quarterback for UCLA, slid into one of those things, and the fellow dropped it, and it stuck in Dennis's leg.
It should not have a point on the end of them.
Oh, you're right. That was just a terrifying thing. They've changed the equipment some since then. It's at midfield. It'll be first down. The ball is square on it. John Hessler from Brighton, Colorado, small town, 18 of 28, 223 yards and 2 touchdowns with an interception in the ball game against CSU. Of course, he stepped into the limelight and center stage at Colorado 2 years ago when Coy Detmer went down with injury, and he picked up the pieces and carried them on to a 10-2 season. He sat and watched last year while they went 10-2 again.
He set 12 school records 2 years ago when he had 9 starts, but like I said, he only threw 25 passes last year, and now he's getting his opportunity. I think what they should do, Keith, is shorten their drops, go 3 steps and throw quickly, because Michigan is disrupting them when they take deeper drops and run shorter slants and some fades and do some of that stuff. Quicker passing. There you go, Charles Woodson. Colorado has thrown 17 passes. Only 2 of them have been in Woodson's direction. They completed 1 and the other was picked off. I think they're going to be avoiding him most of the day. A little respect there. You can't avoid him completely, Keith, because sometimes the read is going to take you to throw at Charles Woodson. But
well, the game we saw last Saturday night in the Coliseum, Florida State threw at Brian Kelly something like 15 times.
Yeah, and they stayed away from McCutcheon on the other side.
Kelly could have had an interception, and it could have been a play that could have won the game. I guess could have, would have, should have, but he still played a heck of a ball game to have that many balls thrown at him. 9:34 remaining to play in the game, and we're waiting for a new pole to pull the chain with. Anybody bring a banjo?
Is that the 10-yard marker?
That's what you remember. Like Willie says, you can't play a sad song with a banjo.
There you go. He's holding the pole up, so you're going to get it bent right there. I mean, yeah. No, you got to drop it. That's bent. That's good. That's bent really good.
Tonight on ABC, the 77th annual Miss America pageant, live from Atlantic City. And this year, I'll have you know that 2-piece swimsuits are allowed in the competition. All for one are the musical guests. That's tonight, Miss America on ABC.
What do you think about that, Hoss? You like that 2-piece bathing suit stuff?
Don't matter none to me.
As I look down the booth at his wife, Turi Ann, she laughs as much as all of us.
I ain't going.
Bob, Keith, they got the new poles out, but the problem wasn't trying to get a straight pole. It's the chains were all tangled up. They spent the last 2 minutes just untangling, and Doc Crease, their weight instructor, was getting ready just to snap them in half.
I don't blame you. We're getting kind of tired of it, too. The handoff goes to Troutman. Troutman picks up a couple of yards on the play. You're one of the good hands guys. You should have gone over there and taken care of it. Clock is rolling along with Michigan leading Colorado by a score of 7-0. Aaron Wade is gone for the day, as we heard. Got a ligament tear. So they lose the big guard out of Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Ryan Bedell, his replacement.
8 starters returned on this offense for Colorado, Keith. So they've got some veterans both on the offense and defense.
2nd down and 8. Troutman goes in motion. Hessler's pass thrown to an open field.
Went the wrong way. The back went the wrong way.
Acres and acres of grass. Nobody there.
There's 2 tight ends and only 1 back. He's going this way. Watch, when he comes back, he's going to throw the ball to our left. Now, I didn't see a screen right or left, so I don't do this very often. But it may have been the quarterback throwing it the wrong way.
Would have been.
Because I didn't see any linemen going out to the right or left. But I got to hang with my quarterbacks.
3rd down and 8 now, and the Michigan crowd starting to get into it. And I'll tell you what, there's still confusion between some of the receivers and the quarterback. And John Hessler says, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go to the man. And he calls timeout. 8:51 to play, and we've sort of bogged down here for just a minute.
Keith, I think that was a good timeout that Colorado took because they were a little disorganized. It's a big play. You're across the 50-yard line. It's third down. But take a timeout and get this play right. This is critical here.
Double wide, the man on the boundary is Savoy. Copenhagen puts the pressure on. Pass is bounced in front of Stigger. Incomplete.
Could have run it. Look at it. He says, run it. All we needed was 8 yards. We could have run it. But when you're out there scrambling, you're so in tune to finding somebody to throw to. Why didn't you run?
So Nick Peach will come on. John Hessler is getting his scalding.
Well, you know, there's a lot of time left in this game. There's a lot of time for him to come back and make big plays and win it.
7-0.
Yeah, exactly,
My goodness.
Exactly.
Woodson is waiting for Peach's punt. Got pressure on him, but he got it away, and he got a beauty away, and Woodson calls a fair catch, so the Wolverines don't have a lot of room behind them at the 8-yard line. This week's Marriott moment features Michigan's comeback win against Ohio State last year. Brian Griese was center stage. And Griese's first pass drilled to Ty Street. He's wide open and gone for a touchdown.
It's a special game, and for me to come in and play that game for Michigan was a tremendous thrill for me, and to come out with a victory was great.
A lot of frustration built up over 3 or 4 years, Keith, and that was an exciting time for him.
This is Chris Howard in at the running back, and we'll move it up across the 10 a bit, about 2.5-yard pickup.
Kid's doing pretty well today, 6 of 8, 85 yards and the 1 interception. Michigan is, you know, being a little conservative on offense, much different than Colorado. As we mentioned this in the opening. Michigan wants to play the strength of their defense, a ball control, don't make any mistakes, don't help Colorado. Colorado's coming out, they're going to throw it, they're going to try and score points.
Colorado doesn't need it. This is Clarence Williams around the corner. And a penalty flag. And I may have dinged Ty Streets with that yellow flag. Well, I think that play will, though good for a first down, will come back.
I think you hit it, Keith. Holding on the wide receiver block. Just knocking some water. I think he's sweating over there. He's just knocking some water out of his headset.
Emptying my earmuffs. Ball comes back to the 8-yard line now. Just inside 8 minutes to go in the first half. 7-0 the Wolverines. The game started out at a very brisk pace in the first quarter. It slowed dramatically here in the second. Michigan now got to be careful. They're second down, 11. Buffalo's jumping around on defense. Give it to Clarence Williams, and Clarence has no room. Jumping in there to make the tackle. Honorable Navies. Now, Michigan doesn't want to take any chances down here, so they're going to be conservative. 2 tight ends, run it out. You know, don't turn it over, just punt it away. Let our defense play. Of course, Colorado and A.J. Kristoff knows that, so they're stacked against the run. What did A.J. say when you were talking to him the other day? Didn't he ask you if Ryan had a black jacket? We had a nice conversation, and A.J. said, well, tell Ryan, you know, have a good game, and be sure to get that big flak jacket out. This is a play up the middle for Chris Howard, and Chris will wiggle it out to the 15 or so, but they're going to have to punt this ball away. Ron Merkerson's put on some weight this year, that big old 33 playing linebacker for Colorado. He's a good one. Michigan in their first game coming out, there's a look at Merkerson, and he's a good one, Keith. Very conservative. They don't want to, you know, do anything. They got the game in control right now, so they're just being conservative with it. can also be discouraging to the other team. Well, so far Vinson showing us a pretty good leg. A walk-on punter. Herschel Trotman accepts the kick back at his own 45-yard line. That's a 40-yard punt and no return, and we go to John Saunders.
Keith, it's time for the Burger King update in the West Virginia-Boston College game. Bob Baum interception set this up. Mark Bolger to Sean Foreman on the touchdown pass. 17-3 right now. West Virginia looking for their third straight victory to start the season. Back to you.
And Don Nehlen put another team together over there in Morgantown. This is the best starting field position that Colorado has had in the game.
It's really a continuation, Keith, of that last drive. When they punted the ball inside the 10, Michigan had to punt it back. Now here they go again.
Defense held them. Offense has a chance. Hessler got a penalty flag thrown. You probably got holding called here as the ball is bounced in front of Cheverini. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a holding call coming here against Colorado. Yep.
Here's a pretty good matchup here. Woodson on the left, jams him at the line of scrimmage. Savoy on the right. Both of these guys are on most of your preseason All-American teams. Savoy running a little down and in and back out. He was open for a second. He got some separation. If it was at the right time for the ball, that would have been a completion.
Last year in Boulder, this happened. Well, Savoy got his touchdown last year, and Charles has been mulling it over since.
Yeah, he's had a year to think about it, hasn't he?
That's a 17-yard penalty now. It's a spot of the foul call, and it goes back 17 yards to make it a 1st and 27.
That game, Keith, last year in Boulder, the Buffaloes offensively only scored 2 touchdowns.
Right. That's right.
They had 13 points. They missed an extra point, but had trouble with this defense last year.
Pressure's coming, passes away. It is intercepted. No, not intercepted. Sam Sword went to the grass tops trying to find it, but didn't quite get it clean. Meantime, Eric Mays was tormenting John Hessler.
Good word, Keith. Tormenting again. Linebackers blitzing right here. Mays is going to rush the passer. Line's going to open up. He's going to come around. He sees the line and he just throws it away. Here's a 26 is Mays.
He's only 5'11", but he's carrying 226 pounds.
Almost had a illegal hit there with your helmet up in the other quarterback's head.
Blitz is coming.
They need to change the snap count, Keith. Those linebackers for Michigan have it down pretty good. They're blitzing at the right time each time.
Sword and Rennis. Rennis, the pressure man. Sword, the blitzer. Joaquin Fazell taking up half of the valley himself at 275 pounds.
Go.
So the Michigan defense right now, in fact, the two defenses are dominating. They've taken all the starch out of the offenses right for the time being. Third and 26. From the 28. And this is Trotman. And Trotman is tripped up by Clint Copenhaver. And it's 4th down for Colorado. The punter is Nick Peach. The receiver, waiting at least, is Charles Woodson. Good kick. Runs Woodson back to the 22, and he's taken down at the 20 on a terrific open field tackle by Ben Kelly. Cornerback for Colorado. 43-yard punt, loss of a yard on the return. Next Saturday, these are the games that we have for you. Bob Greasy and I are going with Lynn Swan in our canoes to Seattle. we're going to do Nebraska, Washington, and I'll tell you what, folks, that will be a rumble.
Did you say canoes?
Yes.
I ain't getting in no canoe, Hoss.
Check your local listing for the game on your ABC station. That's a very big ball game up in Seattle next week. On first down, Greasy rolls out, throws under. Tooman the tight end. First down, Michigan at the 44-yard line. Gain of 24 yards on the play.
Mike DeBoard, the offensive coordinator, calls the plays, went back to the play that was successful for him that set up the touchdown. You fake the run, you roll out, Tooman coming from across the field. This is the same play he caught earlier in the game. You're going across the grain, the fake was the other way. Now he's a tight end. He says, I'm a tight end, I'm running over guys.
Mike DeBoard, having moved over as offensive coordinator, having been the offensive line coach. This is Clarence Williams. He came out of the slot, runs a reverse, and picks up right at 10 yards. Damon Wheeler finally got him. That was a play that could have gone all the way. Colorado saying, wait a minute, the ball's out. How come we can't have a piece of it? And they say he was down. They'll have a look with a change to see where they are.
Let's check out the blocking on this here. Clarence Williams lost some weight. $14 going down there and kind of getting a piece of somebody.
But that other Greasy that we knew wearing the black and gold, I don't know that he had too many like that. He didn't stick his hat.
He didn't learn that from me, if that's what you're asking.
4 minutes and 9 seconds to play. Ball is out on the 46-yard line, and it's second down and the flat. Into the ball game now for Michigan is Mark Campbell, number 88, tight end. That'll give him a double tight end alignment. They send Shaw and Streets wide. Floyd is the single back. He gets it, and he gets the first down and then some. Runs all the way down to the 35-yard line. Gets a hand from the crowd. First down. Big block from Jeremy Tooman, number 80, the tight end.
Well, that's just straight blocking up front by that offensive line. Hutchinson, Frazier, Zeman, Tooman, number 80, who just caught that big pass to get him down in this field position. Does a nice job. Stays with his man. That's Sutter, number 36, the free safety. The big question mark for Michigan coming in. 4 new starters on that offensive line.
Anthony Thomas is back in, the freshman. And Greasy's pass. Puts air under it. Whitson's there and out of bounds. Incomplete forward pass. Charles Woodson had snuck into the game, and he had whipped Marcus Washington. He was out of bounds when he caught the ball, and there's a penalty flag against Michigan back at the line of scrimmage. All of that excitement is wiped out.
I think that is the first time that Charles Woodson was in on offense. If that ball would have been thrown further to the inside, of course, they've been wiped out by the penalty anyway.
Yep.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty.
Well, they snuck him in, though. I didn't see him come in. I mean, he goes in. As long as you get inside the numbers, you're legal. And that's as far as he went. And then all of a sudden, boom, there he was wide open.
Washington has no deep help. He just let Woodson run by him.
Right on the line when he caught it. Right on the boundary.
I think, Keith, if he would have been working as a receiver more and not so much defensive back, he could have worked his feet in bounds, but wouldn't have counted in.
3 wideouts to the bottom. Greasy looking the other way and goes the other way for Floyd. And Floyd runs into his own man. He ran into Big Steve Hutchinson, and they say, we're going that way. And they straightened it out for about 5 yards.
Hutchinson missed a couple weeks practice with a concussion. He came over from defense, as did the other guard, Chris Zeman. So they've got 2 guards that are huge. Both moved over from defense. DeBoard really likes this offensive line. He thinks in time they are really going to be good.
Now they break up the I and leave Williams deep. Now he's out of the backfield. There ain't nobody back there, Brian. You got to throw it. He goes inside the streets. You got a penalty flag against Michigan. The play wasn't going anywhere anyhow. Colorado sniffed that out pretty well, and the linesman threw the flag just as the play broke. 2 minutes, 38 seconds to play in the first half. The first quarter was antiseptic. The second quarter's been a mess. We'll have the Valvoline halftime 97 with John Saunders and Todd Blackledge. A little bit here, 2 minutes and 38 seconds on the game clock.
We're talking with Rick Neuheisel too. I think they got a piece about with Rick.
I looked at some of the interview stuff last night, as a matter of fact, before I nodded off. It's interesting. It's good.
Rick's a pretty interesting guy. He wants to have fun. He wants to put fun back in college. He takes these guys tubing, he takes them skiing, and plays the guitar.
3rd and 17 for Michigan now. The ball is thrown to Williams. Williams is belted. They're going to call him down. They're going to call him down. I don't know why, but they are at the 39-yard line. Colorado doesn't know why either. Ryan Sutter came up and laid a lick on him. He hit him with a plank. And the ball came popping out.
Tight end is going to come across, and right here in the center of your screen is Sutter. He sees this the whole way. Watch him close on this.
I don't know, maybe he was down.
Yeah.
So now they have come to a 4th down, and Brian's out there, right? So the Pooch punter's on the field. No, you got to back it up. 9-iron. So it bounds into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20, 1:35 to play, and here's John.
Well, Keith, coming up on Valvoline Halftime 97, Todd and I will have the scores and the highlights. Plus, you just heard Keith and Bob talking about Rick Neuheisel, a different guy.
Yeah, he's a real fun-loving guy, but I don't think he or his quarterback's having a lot of fun right now.
Right now, they are down. That's all coming up on Valvoline Halftime 97. Right now, let's take it back to Keith.
Buffaloes get the ball at the 20. Michigan defense's confidence has obviously grown and grown and grown because they have been a dominant factor in this first half. They lead 7-0. Colorado defense is getting better all the while too. Here's Hessler back, hands the ball away, and there's a loss on the play as Marlon Barnes carrying, and Glenn Steele is not having any of it. The big guy from Ligonier, Indiana, took him down for a loss on the play, back to the 15-yard line.
This Michigan defense, Keith, take a look at the defensive line and the offensive line play. Steele is 81. He beats his man and makes the play. But this Michigan defense was pretty good coming back. They had 6 starters returning from a team that was 8th best in the nation last year in preventing people scoring points. So Michigan defense has always been good, Keith.
They tackle well.
Fundamentally, all the way back to Schembechler, that was one of the things you know about Michigan defensively, the tackle.
This is Troutman looking for some help, turns the corner and runs well across the 25 to the 26. So it'll be 3rd down and 4 from the 26, and timeout called here by Michigan. Colorado has no timeouts remaining.
Well, Michigan wants to try and stop him on this 3rd down and force him to punt. Give Woodson a chance to run it back.
Hey, Jack! Hey, Jack! I'm going to tell you, Don.
All right, here comes into the ball game Eric Mays, number 26, returning. He's been a primary tormentor for them. Whitley, the freshman, number 5, James Whitley from Norfolk. He comes out, and Andre Weathers, another blitzer, goes in. So they're putting in their assassins here, trying to make them punt.
Michigan has used about 18 or 19 defensive players, Keith. They have done a nice job of nickel and dime. I mean, that 5 and 6 defensive backs, sometimes 7. Sometimes they just use 3 linebackers. It's a standard set, base set. So doing a nice job, and they're mixing up their coverages and blitzes.
In talking to Jim Herman yesterday, though, I mean, the room was just vibrating. He was so excited to get and so eager to send his warriors out.
His daddy was a CPA, his sister and his brother-in-law are CPAs. Everybody expected him to be a CPA. He said, no. He says, I'm going in for something exciting. And what he told us yesterday was very interesting, Keith. He said he thought that not having played a game is an advantage for his defense. and a disadvantage for Colorado's offense, because you've got to see what they're doing, but he didn't give up any of his secrets defensively.
Now he changed his mind a bit. He puts Whitley back in, so he's got a burner in there to cover the pass. The pressure flushes Hessler out of there, and they take him down at the 30, but he may have a first down depending on the spot. Now the linesman come from this side. He's marked it short of the 30-yard line. They call time, Michigan does, with 23 seconds remaining on the clock, and so it will be 4th down and a yard.
There's that front. 4 guys rushing. Michigan putting on pressure with 4. Steele just misses him, and that's Hall that keeps after him and finally catches him.
I'll tell you what. Does Michigan have a timeout left?
That's all their timeout. So
yeah, okay.
What they're going to get is a punt if they can do something with the punt.
I'd just go for the first down. You only got a half a yard, so why give Woodson a chance for the ball?
That's a good point, too.
Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, you know, I'm very surprised. Colorado has 1 game under their belt, and they played Colorado State very well. But I'm looking at their wide receivers especially, and they look like they're dragging. They look like they're tired. They've been walking on and off the field. The entire bench area for Colorado looks like it's a team that's lost a game, not a team that's only trailing by a touchdown. That's not a good sign for the second half, Keith.
Well, Len, you know, last week against Colorado State, they were behind at halftime. And it wasn't Neuheisel so much that fired him up. It was Savoy who came in and started throwing chairs in the locker room. And Melvin Thomas, the big All-American tackle, that started speaking to him. So they're going to need some of that here today.
Well, if Phil Savoy's going to start throwing chairs, he needs a personality change right now, Bob. All right.
Talk to him, Lenny.
Nick Beach is in the punt. Yeah, I guess, well, they're going to kick it.
Got a piece out.
Got to touch the ball. As long as you touch the ball, you can knock the kicker down, and the ball is fielded by Charles Woodson and run out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. So Ian Gold goes in there and gets a piece of it.
As long as you get a piece of it, you can touch the kicker. Or the kicker can touch you, I guess.
So Michigan will get it with 15 seconds. The ball is just across midfield.
Let's see if Michigan's got a Hail Mary.
Too early. Woodson. Call a timeout down on the 20-yard line. 6 seconds.
The clock stops. The clock stops on the first
chain.
down.
Now they've got to get down there. They don't have a timeout remaining.
They just have to down the ball and then get their field goal team in. They can do that.
All you got to do is snap it, spike it. There you go.
See, that's a big advantage. A big advantage in college. And Charles Woodson, everybody laying off, think he's going deep. This is a nice call. Send 2 guys of the 3 on that side deep and bring the 1 guy in across. Your big play guy.
And so Craig Baker will get a field goal try from somewhere around the 27-yard line. So it looks like it'll be about a 37-yarder. The clock did not move. Did he not ask for some time to be run off?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Rob Sweat, who is a linebacker. Rob comes in as one of the blockers for the field goal unit. He's up at the top of the picture, number 95, and if there's going to be pressure, that's probably where it would come from. 37 yards. There comes the pressure. The kick is in the air, and it is good. And so very good use of the clock without a timeout in the closing seconds of the first half, and Michigan goes to the clubhouse leading Colorado by a score of 10-0.